things are good. Was Conor with you, and that's why they had to cancel the UFC press conference?
Nah, man, I don't know what happened yet. He's, I'm sure it's something that that's obviously not good, right?
No, well, we'll find that out. I just thought it was funny, and I figured I would definitely throw it at you. Before we get into if there's news, what's going on, the update, I know another event this weekend, I believe it's in the UK. Quite a few people you've been meeting with. Is that just they happen to be at a fight like Robbie Lawler, King Mo, or everybody keeps hitting you up like they've been doing since day one, and now as you get bigger, more people want to get involved?
I'm getting these meetings with different individuals. These bigger gyms, these bigger management companies, they're really welcoming me with open arms, and there's nothing definitive really going down yet. But the reception I'm getting from all these guys, it was literally unbelievable. So I was like, wow, like sometimes you're in this so deep that you don't really understand what you're doing, and then you leave a meeting like I had down there in South Florida, and I leave, and I'm like, man, everybody, all the biggest guys in the world know what we're doing and know who we are, and you really want to be a part of it. I mean, I had so many people say, how do I get to be a part of this? Whether it's investment in it, whether it's fighting for us. I mean, biggest names in combat sports. It's been truly humbling and unbelievable.
Have you ever thought about what Jorge Masvidal said after he won the BMF belt and all that kind of stuff, that, you didn't talk to me before, don't talk to me now? Do you kind of think that, like, when I was first started, I could have used some help?
Nah, I think, like, you didn't talk to me before, so please talk to me now. Because I'm different. Listen, I want this thing to grow. I have a very, very small ego, and I'm not saying Jorge has a big ego. I'm just saying I have a small ego. I'm all about growth. So if they didn't think that it fit yet, but now it fits, come on over.
Are you going to be in England this weekend, or the events in England?
I won't be in England this weekend. I'll get divorced. So I will not be in England this weekend. I'm traveling.
I got
traveling too much. Go ahead.
Dave, I got to be honest with you, because I didn't mean to interrupt. I was startled, shocked, and my heart stopped. And I mean this. When you said that, I thought you said, I'm getting divorced. And I'm like, huh? And then it registered you would get divorced if you went. Okay.
Yeah, man, it's too much. It's literally 5-6 days a week now. It's crazy. So I don't have to be at that one. I have a great team over there. It's a decent-sized show, 2,000 people in attendance. It's a prospect event, so it's not something I really have to be at. But I'm going to be watching it, and it's going to be a great event.
So, Dave, right before you came on, we were talking about gambling in baseball. Obviously, Pete Rose being the most infamous for it. You guys have the Bet Online AG from the past and other betting agencies. I mean, that's how the pay-per-view and the fighting world is funded and supported by. But what do you guys do proactively for the fighters, like to not bet or get caught up in these controversies you see all the time in other professional sports?
Well, in all of the contracts that we have the fighters sign, all of their fight contracts, there's an integrity policy that's placed inside of there that they state that they will not bet on or against themselves in any fights they compete on, or any of their teammates. So any of their management team, wow. any of their trainers, they're saying all that. Now, look, is that happening anywhere in any sports? Probably not. Like it's probably not absent everywhere, right? But I mean, we definitely crack down on it because we're really trying to grow our integrity up so we can land a big betting deal, and we put it in the contracts. We mention it at my pre-fight meeting every time. We mention it at the second pre-fight meeting every time. Hey, reminder, guys, you cannot bet on the fight you're in. So listen, they know, but the oldest saying in the book is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So we can tell them everything they can't do. I haven't heard of anyone doing it, but, nobody can ensure anything 100%.
I was going to joke and say all we really want these athletes to do is read. If they read the contract, they'll see it and know that that's not what they're supposed to do. Any news coming up? Anything that, obviously not that you're working on, because then you couldn't talk about it, but anything that you've recently talked about and that you want to inform everybody on?
I mean, I think two things. I'm not going to mention specifics on it, but in the fall, very early fall, we'll be in Marbella, Spain. We'll do our first show there. It's going to be an unbelievable event in a bull arena over there, 7,000 people. And then we're going to go in late October. We're going to do a show in Dubai. We just finished that up a couple of days ago. I can't tell you what platform we just signed, but we just signed the agreement for a 12-fight deal with a television platform. So that's huge news for us, and that's going to be awesome for us. And we're looking at entering into a bigger deal in 2 weeks with another company for the remainder of the events that we're going to do. So that's some pretty big stuff that's happened this week that we're super excited about.
Very cool. Obviously, one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name, and you and I talk about it all the time. The fans all the time are asking us, Mike Perry, what's next for Perry? Will Perry? Is Perry? So I'm going to ask you, what's any updated news on when we'll see Mike Perry again?
I'm working on it now. There are I'm not saying that this is even close or anything like that, but I'm going to have a conversation shortly with one of the guys that you mentioned that I was in a picture with, that I would love that fight to happen, and I'm going to work on that, but who knows what's going to happen. He's still with the UFC right now, so we got a lot of work to do there. We're looking to get Mike back in September, and we have another couple opponents as well. Darren Till fell out of his fight that he was going to do in July, and they didn't reschedule that yet. So, that's an option, and Dave Mundell's an option. So there's 2 or 3 guys that are an option, but it's definitely going to be in late August, but most definitely in early September, get him back in.
You and I have addressed this numerous times, and we've talked about, older fighters, that have been around, big name, huge name, have followings, and how difficult is that? And sometimes do you have to step back and have your team look at it as well? Because I'm not saying names, but, this name is so big, but I don't know if this is a perfect fit. How difficult is that process?
I mean, it's a little difficult because, sometimes you're in awe by, oh my God, this guy wants to fight for us. This is unbelievable, right? And then you go, hey, you know what? Is he the right fit? But, the ones that I know, like right off the bat, when I go, yep, that's a good fit, and we're going to do that. And I don't even have to ask because I know. And I go with my gut on a lot of things like that. But, yeah, I mean, it's a process that we go through, and we argue about it a lot of times. And it's not just, is he fit to fight? It's is he a needle mover? Is he going to move the needle? Because you hear the name, and you go, yeah, you know what? Oh, yeah, he's real popular, but is he going to move the needle in our sport, right? And the one guy that you mentioned, Robbie Lawler, if we are able to ever do anything with him, Robbie Lawler is built for this, and he's a needle mover.
Yeah,
I would watch Robbie Lawler fight in a phone booth. so
right?
Yeah.
I mean, look,
he'll fight himself in a shadow boxing.
Beautiful walk-off knockout to end his MMA run.
Unreal.
Great guy, humble guy. I don't know if you've ever talked to him, but I mean, just a real down-to-earth, humble guy, and I really liked him. And those are the guys I enjoy talking to the most, the guys that don't have that big ego on their shoulder now. I know that we're going to be doing, or we have done business, and we're going to be doing business with some of those guys, but, some of the other guys are just great, really great to work with.
No, I wouldn't say Conor has an ego.
It's funny, when we met, the one thing he said is, he goes to me, you got a chip on your shoulder. I go, you got a chip on your shoulder, buddy. He goes, you got a boulder on your shoulder. I said, I do have a boulder on my shoulder. I got a lot of stuff to prove. But so it was actually a really fun, cool conversation. But I mean, look, he knows who he is, absolutely, but he also 100% did not forget where he came from.
True.
Awesome.
Well, a final question for you, Dave Feldman, president of BKFC. You said that, when the whole group gets together and you're arguing, you're disagreeing, whatever, do you get one vote or do you get more votes because you're Dave Feldman?
Look, I mean, I get the final vote, right? Like, if it's a sway, I get the final vote. But at the end of the day, I really, truly do listen, because here's why I listen. Not because they're wrong or right, but if the whole team's against it, they're not going to give me their support when it comes to marketing and promoting it the right way, because they're just not going to be excited about it, right? They're going to do their job, but they're not going to overdo their job. So I want to make sure that they're all on board and they're all excited about it, because that makes them want to promote it, market it, do different content on it more than, obviously if they weren't that excited about it.
Understand. As always, sir, thank you for your time.